It's time to get motivated and inspired. Patrice McClendon is the founder and president of Sista to Sista, Women Empowering Women. And she joins me now with advice on finding inspiration from within. Thank you so much for joining us on First Coast Living again.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, so you do that luncheon every year. It happened in March. It was a great turnout. I got to do it last year, be a speaker at her event, and it is very empowering. But for people who can't go to things like that, you know, they struggle with it themselves. How can we cultivate empowerment from within, and what exactly does that look like? What is it?
Well, first of all, we want to know what empowerment is, and that is bringing confidence for yourself. And sometimes we need coaching in that, or we need help in that. The way that we cultivate, or some of the ways that we cultivate, because there's so many, we want to be positive. We want to speak positivity into ourselves. We want to speak positivity to those around us, and also want to make sure that in that we have people around us who are positive.
Yes.
Sometimes we get caught up with those people who say negative things or negative comments here and there, and it gets into our spirit, and then we find ourselves in that same boat 100%. And not realizing it, and by that time we've got to work our way back to that level of confidence and that level of positivity.
Definitely. I mean, the negativity just kind of can bleed off and contaminate those around, you know,
Yes.
and it is sometimes hard to get out of that mindset. And you say communication is also very important with this. And why is that? And communication with who?
Well, sometimes we have to talk to ourselves.
Okay, there you go.
So that's always a positive, to talk to ourselves, because sometimes if we say something out loud, it makes it real.
Right.
As long as we're keeping it in the back of our mind, we're not dealing with whatever that issue may be. Also with communication, of course, we see the verbal communication and nonverbal communication. Verbal communication seems to becoming a lost art, because we're forgetting how to listen.
We're so distracted.
We're very distracted. And in that listening process, we also need to be ready to garner wisdom. So that doesn't mean listening and thinking about what I'm going to say next.
Right.
Let me listen, let me communicate, so that when I hear what you're saying, I'm receiving it the way it should be received, and I'm responding back to you in that positive manner as well.
You're giving us that wisdom right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're listening and paying attention to this.
Right.
Boundaries is a good thing too. I did struggle with this a lot. I would say yes to everything. I would, you know, overgive maybe. And that's just because I care, you know, but sometimes it is to the detriment of yourself, because you're not giving back to yourself. So talk about the importance of setting boundaries and how we can do that as well.
Well, setting boundaries, one, you're always going to set a goal for yourself. And I would never tell anybody to set 25 goals to conquer in 2 months.
Right.
Set 1 or 2 goals for yourself, and then setting those goals, you're also setting your limitations and your boundaries. And you just mentioned about saying yes. One of the things that we know about saying yes is it's overwhelming. No is a powerful word.
Yeah.
No is a heavy word, and it's okay to say no.
Right.
But also make sure saying no that you're not in a position that you're going to change your response. If you say no, mean no. If you say yes, mean yes.
Right.
If there's a maybe, say maybe. Saying no is powerful. Sometimes you have to pull away from certain things and do something different.
Right.
And in saying no, you may lose some people. You may lose some friendships. You may lose some family members. And that's okay. That means they're not on the journey that you're on. Sometimes your journey cannot take everybody.
Right.
And it's okay.
Right.
So we have to remember
be okay with
that. You have to be okay with that.
And I've heard this too, no is a complete sentence.
No is a complete sentence.
So interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And talking about confidence too, now this is something that I did when I did not feel like I was good enough, right? I'm a meteorologist. I did it for 7 years, and then I started doing this, and I loved it. It was always my passion. I was the weather girl for my middle school and high school. But even with the college degree, I second guessed myself a lot, and I did the fake it till you make it approach. But you don't necessarily think that that's the best way to go. Why is that?
I don't think that's the best way to go, because you're putting a false sense of reality on yourself. So it's one of those things, let's find out, why are you not confident in this particular area, or why are you not confident in a certain thought process? In doing that, we want to know, let's define it. Let's define it, and then once we define it, we can find out how to help. or you yourself. Again, it goes back to that speaking to yourself
And
out
it was
loud.
definitely me talking to myself.
Yeah, when you talk to yourself out loud, you realize, hey, you know what? I can do something about this.
Yeah.
Let me find the right resources and move into that networking phase. Sometimes, again, it's the community that you're involved in. Let's look at that. Are those people positive? Are those people encouraging and supporting you? Are they encouraging your thought process? Are they encouraging your goals? Are they giving you relationships to bond, or people that you can refer back to, and those kinds of things? So yeah, definitely don't fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I would have the negative self-talk, but people around me would be like, no, what are you talking about? You're awesome. You know, I would have no idea that inside you're thinking that, you know. So really what it comes down to is, like you said, talking to yourself and finding out why you're feeling this way and working on that versus trying to seek outside validation or the fake it till you make it approach. In my sense, I think it did work. But I feel like if I would have gone to therapy a long time ago, I think it would have really, I would have been empowered also in that sense, because I wouldn't have allowed that negative thought to continue.
Yeah. And seeking help is good, because a lot of times what people are experiencing now is seeking help is nothing bad. It's not a bad thing. Mental health is important. Mental health awareness is being built on some of the people coming out and telling their experiences and allowing others to say, hey, I do need help. I do need to talk to somebody. And you're talking to someone that's not biased.
Right, exactly.
It's hard to talk to your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your friends, because you know they are going to be judgmental in some form or fashion.
Yeah. So thank you so much for inspiring us today and empowering us and helping us cultivate that on our own. If we want a little bit more information though on what you do, give us your website.
My website is Sister to Sister Women Empowering Women. I'm sorry, Sister to Sister Empowerment.com. And that's SISTA, the number 2, SISTA. Empowerment.com.
All right. Thank you again so much. I feel inspired and ready to take on the world now.
Absolutely.
And if you'd like to see this interview again to get more inspiration, head to our website as well.